Are you ready to do some Christmas in July DIYs? Well, stay tuned. Hi, my name is Leslie and welcome to Happy Tuesday, where we do crafts and DIYs and home decor and more. Today I have for you 5 super cute projects that are sure to put you in that Christmas in July mood. Now, don't forget to stick around until the very end and I'll have a hint on one of next week's projects. So, let's get started. And here's a quick sneak peek into all 5 of today's projects. I am so excited for today, and that will bring us to project number 1. I just adore snowmen, and so we are going to be making a 2 scoops snowman, kind of a summery Christmas. So you are going to need some type of spray foam, and then either Epsom salts or the fake snow you can get from Dollar Tree, and we're going to spray some of that spray snow and add a little bit of texture with the Epsom salts or that snow scatter. And once you've gotten these styrofoam balls as coated as you want them, then we're going to add a little bit of spray foam to this terracotta pot to make it look kind of like an ice cream cone. And now we are going to take this air dry clay that you can buy from Walmart, and we are going to make a little snowman nose. Now I've got 2 black push pins that I'm going to use for eyes and some scrap red fabric that we're going to cut a couple of strips and make a snowman scarf, and I just kind of frayed the edges just a little bit. Now we're going to go ahead and start assembly, and we're just going to hot glue around the edge of that terracotta pot and add in 1 snow ball, and then take some wooden skewers or toothpicks and secure on the second snowball. And now we're going to tie on our little scarf and get it all arranged the way you want it. And once we've got that done, we are going to give our little carrot nose a coat of pumpkin colored chalk paint by Waverly that you can get at Walmart. And once I've got that all coated and good, then we are going to take our push pins and add them to our snowman as eyeballs. And then I've got some puff paint that I got at the Dollar Tree. I'm going to give him some eyebrows, and I did add him a mouth later on. And now I'm going to take some hot glue, and we are going to put some of these jingle bells on the front of the bottom snowball as buttons, and then we're going to tie a little shoestring bow out of that twine. Now I've got some alcohol markers. I'm going to add some little carrot spots on there, and then I am going to glue and also secure it with a little skewer stick there, the snowman's nose. And when I went to push it in, it didn't want to push all the way through because that clay was still kind of soft. And once I've got that set, we are going to take this little wood piece that I painted black and draw on it 2 scoops, give it a little bit of decor around the edges with our white paint pen, and then we are going to finish assembly. Once I've got that all situated, I'm just going to take some of my eyeshadow and give him a little blush for his cheeks. And then he is complete. Isn't he just the most adorable thing? Looks like a 2 scoops of ice cream snowman. Now don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber, and ring the bell. And I would greatly appreciate it if you would share it with your friends. And that will bring us to project number 2. Now we're first going to start out with these 2 little styrofoam pieces that you can get from the Dollar Tree, and I'm only going to use 1 for this project. And then I've got some pillow fluff, and I put it on the top of my wood round. Now if you've been with me for a while, you will know that my husband and I cut down some trees in our front yard last year, and I have been using all kinds of wood rounds from those trees. And so we are now taking some white string, and these are little scatter balls. Oh, I'm going to add some hot glue and glue that pillow fiber around to give that the cloud appearance. Anyway, these are some little scatter pieces that I am going to string on to some just plain white thread. And the scatter pieces I got on clearance at Hobby Lobby last year. And once I've got 4 or 5 of those on, I am going to run my needle through that styrofoam and the pillow fluff and make it like a little snow flurry. And we're going to do that several more times, a lot more times, but I'm not going to show you all of them until we get as much snowfall as you want on this little cloud. And I just tied it around, ran it through, and then tied it around and kind of made a knot with that string to secure it on top. I suppose you could also secure it with some hot glue or some craft glue, and we're just going to keep using those scatter pieces to make more snow flurries. And like I said, once you've got all the snow flurries done that you want to have on here, then we are going to grab a dowel and push it through our cloud so that it can hang and be secure on our wood round. I've grabbed some of these little mini presents, and I've got a tree. Now I'm going to take some of these fluffy socks. I don't remember exactly what they're called, but I bought them at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to make a little hat out of that. And then we've got our clay, and we are going to make kind of a comical little snowman. He's not going to be a round 3-ball kind of snowman. He's going to be kind of oval and more comic looking like. And we fashioned some arms, and now we're going to make him a little triangular type body. And then I'm going to grab some more of that clay and make little round feet, and then we will start assembly of our snowman. So this clay I really like because it's air dry, but it's soft, and it takes about 48 to 72 hours to thoroughly dry. But once you've got it dry, it keeps its white color. Lots of the other air clays, when you let them air dry, they don't keep their white color, and I wanted that for this snowman. So I made him a little round nose, and then I poked in my fingernails to make him some kind of half-closed eyes. And now we're going to take a couple more little pieces and make some little buttons for the front of him. And once he is all dry, then we are going to take those alcohol markers and give him a little color. So I'm going to paint his little nose orange. Even though I didn't make a traditional carrot nose, we're still going to make it the orange color. And then I'm going to add him some little eyes and eyelashes. And once I've got that all complete, I am going to put him a little peach mouth and some black buttons. And just like with our little snow cone snowman, I'm going to take some of my eyeshadow and make him some little blush cheeks. And we'll add a little bit of hot glue onto that dowel so that we can secure it to our cloud, and then a little bit of hot glue on the bottom of our tree to secure it to the wood round. I grabbed a little bit of white chalk paint and painted that dowel so that it would kind of blend in with everything, and we're going to finish assembly. We're going to glue on the little hat onto our little snowman, and we're going to glue on our pillow fluff in a minute once we've drilled our hole. So I'm trying to find the right drill bit, and we're going to drill a hole through that wood round to put our dowel into, and we'll hot glue all that together. And I secured the dowel down far enough so that the snow flurry is hanging over the tree and the snowman. And then I'll cover up the top of that dowel with some of that pillow fluff, and we'll finish gluing the pieces on. And this project is complete. I just think it is so adorable and fun and unique and just stinking cute. What do you think? Now, if you don't have the white scatter balls, you could also use clay and make little snowballs, or you could use little pom-poms and have the same effect. And that will bring us to project number 3. I love this so much, and it was super easy. So the little bird I found in a package of 5, and I believe I bought that at Michael's and used one of my coupons and got it really super cheap. And then this little house form, of course, is from the Dollar Tree. Now, in hindsight, I probably should have, even though the center was white, painted it white as well when I painted the exterior edges, because it was really slick and it did not want to hold the Mod Podge very well. But I'm going to take 5 of these little craft sticks, and I am going to use my scissors and just trim off the top to make it look like a little picket fence, and sand those down. And once I've got all 5 of those done, then I'm going to take my miter shears and just cut them down to the size I wanted for my fence. And then I'm going to take some wire, and you can use any wire because we are going to paint this white, and wrap it around to make it look like an old kind of picket fence. And this wire that I've got, I believe I bought on clearance at Michael's. It was like, I don't know, $1 or $2. And so I always look for the clearance wire when I can find it. And it was perfect for this project. So we're just going to wrap that around until we get all 5 of those in there. And don't worry if they're sliding in and out, because once we paint that, they will all stay in place. The paint will kind of act as a gluing agent, sort of. And we'll trim that off, and then we are going to do the same thing again on our little pickets to make a bottom wire. And so we're just going to wrap that. Now I just put it around the outside, and I kind of kept one side neat and the other side was on my messy side, but I just wrapped it around and kind of twisted a little bit to make sure that they stayed. And once we've got that all done, then we are going to grab our white chalk paint by Waverly, and we are going to give it one good coat of white chalk paint. And I did both the front and the back, because as it sits there you can kind of see the back of it, and so I wanted it to be finished looking. And so I painted both sides. But if you don't want to paint it, you don't have to. You could stain it, but if you do that, you'd probably want to add a little bit of hot glue to that wire, just to make sure that it all stays in place where you want it. So here I'm just going to come in and give it a nice good thick coat, but I just did one. And once that is done, I bought this, and I think it looks like white pine, not white pine, birch ribbon from Dollar Tree a few years ago. And I bought a couple of spools of it because I thought it was so cute, but I haven't found a good excuse to use it until now. And I just thought this was the perfect background to this little scene. It makes it look like I've got some white birch trees, which are my absolute favorite, in the background of this project. And so I'm just going to use some Mod Podge. Again, like I said, it was kind of slippery on that slick surface, and so I wished I would have painted it. But you can avoid my mistake if you recreate this, and you can paint it, and then you'll only need, one good coat of Mod Podge instead of over and over and over again. So I got the one side done, and the cool thing about this paper is it actually just rips. It's ribbon paper, I guess. And once you've gotten that the right size and stuck both of those in there, then I'm going to take this little miniature wreath I had from Dollar Tree from Christmas last year and glue that onto the front of my fence. And then I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue onto the pickets and put that on the edge of my little house there. And then I went outside and picked a little stick that I thought would be the perfect size for this project and trimmed it down and kind of gave it an angled trim so that it would sit there on the edge, and then glued the top piece up there, and then I glued my bird on, and this is complete. Oops, one more step, I forgot. I took some of that white puff paint and just gave it a little bit of snowy puff on there just to give it a little bit more effect. And then this project is complete, and I love, love, love this so much. And it doesn't have to be just for Christmas. It could be for winter time, and so you could leave this out all the way through January if you were so inclined. And that will bring us to project number 4. I love this one too. You guys know how much I love wire art. And so I picked a little stick from outside, and then I grabbed my paper wrapped wire, and I'll have this linked below if you are interested in purchasing this. And we're just going to make a little frame of a body, and we're going to make 2 of those, one for the right side and one for the left side. And then we are going to double wrap some of that wire to give it a little bit more sturdiness, and we're going to use that to fashion a head and arms for our little person. Now, if you use the edge piece, then you can make a little hand. You can see I don't know if I showed it, but I made a little open piece there at the end, kind of a hand, and then I am going to turn a little head around and then wrap the wire around the top of the head, and then we're going to bring it back around to the other side and make another little hand and secure that to the body. So the hands, I just make little open pieces like you'll see here, and just trim the little piece of paper off that was coming off. And then we are going to double wrap another long piece, and we're going to use that to make the Christmas tree. Now it takes just a little bit to double wrap these over, and if you want to give your whole piece more security, you could double wrap everything for the whole piece, but I just double wrap the tree because I will secure it with glue, and we'll connect the body to the tree, and we'll also connect the body to the wood piece, and it stands up perfectly. So we're just going to go back and forth and kind of pinch off the edges and make each turn a little bit longer than the last one to kind of give this a tree shape. And once we've got our tree as big as we want it, then we're going to take the last little bit, and I kind of trimmed it off there. We're going to take that last little bit, and we are going to make the tree stump, or tree not stump, because a stump would be if the tree was cut off of it. We're going to make the tree trunk. There we go. And so I'm just going to, twist this around until I get it really good and secure, because this is going to be what's holding up my tree on that little wood piece. And then I made a little base for it. And then there's the body for our second person. And I went ahead and wrapped arms around, and the head isn't going to be connected, but we're going to make a head. So I wrapped over a piece, and then took the end and kind of ran it through that middle of where I twisted it, and then we are going to wrap that around the head and secure that to the body. And once we've got that done, then I'm going to wrap the arm in there just a couple of times to give it just a little bit more stability and sturdiness, and make sure that head stays up good, because we're going to put a hat on it. Now the arm was a little bit too long, so I twisted it off, or cut it off with my little tiny wire cutters from Harbor Freight, and then I fashioned another hand with the end. And now we're going to come in with some of this paper. Now I bought this paper on clearance last year, And I found this one that had Christmas lights on it, and I thought it was perfect for the Christmas tree. So I'm just going to trim kind of around the outside edge so that we have that tree form or tree shape, and then I will cut that out. And then we are going to use just some regular craft glue. Now I decided to erase off my pencil marks so they wouldn't show. And I bought these tiny little bottles from Temu and put glue in them so that I can get the tiniest little bit of glue for tiny paper crafts. And so I just ran that along the edge and then secured it to the paper. And once that's all secure, then we are going to take that last little bit and secure it to itself so that we have that sturdiness. And then I pulled out some of these little gem stickers that I have from the Dollar Tree and picked out the colors and designs that I wanted and added a little bit of that craft glue on there and then glued them on as ornaments to the little tree. And the thing about these stickers is they come in kind of like a long row. So if you only want one individual, you either have to pull off the little sticky that's on there or trim it off. And so the glue will help it stay in place. And then I'm going to take one extra bead and I am going to put it in one of my little people's hands. And then I grabbed my wood stars and I'm going to pick out a wooden star that fits the top of my tree. And we are going to paint it with some metallic gold. And I bought this at Michael's, I think on clearance. So watch their clearance section because they put lots of stuff in there all year round. And then I got these little gold flecks from Dollar Tree in their crafter section. I have gold and silver and bronze, I think. And I'm just going to add those on there and give the star a little shimmer. And then I'm going to find another paper for the dress and a second paper for the hat and the boots. Now I loved this buffalo check, but I didn't want the snowflakes on it, so I trimmed around just the places where the buffalo check is to make a little hat. And then I grabbed a couple little white pom-poms, one for each hat. And I'm going to add some little fluff on the base of the hat with that puff paint. And then I'm going to trim out, and I did 2 hats, one for each person. And then I'm going to trim out the little clothes and cut those out. And then we will get those glued. In hindsight, I probably should have trimmed or traced that on the back side. It was really difficult to see on that front side with all the pattern there, but I did it twice and got those all trimmed off. And then we'll glue those down using that little precision gluer, I guess that we can call it, that I have up there. And then we will be ready to start assembly. Oh no, then we have to make the boots. Don't forget the boots. So I'm just going to glue this on one piece at a time, and you can either glue it on the front or glue it on the back, your choice. I chose to glue it on the back side, and that way you can kind of still see my little rope wire, paper wire there. So I fashioned myself a little boot and cut it out, and then made 3 more, 2 in each direction. So we have a right boot and a left boot for each person, and we're going to glue those on. And then we're also going to get our hats glued on, and then we will start assembly. So I decided each person needed to have one foot kicked up. So the person on the left will have their right foot kicked up, and the person on the right will have their left foot kicked up. And then we are going to make a couple little twisty ties on this little scrap piece, or twisty bendies, and that will be the hair for one of our people. So we will start assembly now with some hot glue, and I'm just going to hold that in place until it is in the position I want it, and then make sure that it's good and stable. And here we're going to use a little bit of hot glue to glue her little hair on to the base of her hat. And then we're going to arrange that boot on there so that it doesn't interfere with the kicked up boot. And we're going to put the star in her hand and then attach the star to the tree, and that will help her have some more stability. And then we are going to actually glue the little corner of the tree onto her dress just to give her the final piece of security. And we're going to do the same thing with the person on the other side and glue that little hand with the ornament on there. And then this project is complete. I did use a little bit of that spray snow and sprayed it on there on the bottom just to give it a little bit more Christmassy kind of fun. And I think this is just, I hate to say again, but adorable, and I love this so much. I hope you do too. And that'll bring us to our final project, project number 5. Now these are 1-inch cubes, so we're going to use 5 for the bottom layer, 4 for the next layer, 3, 2, and 1. So there's a total of 15, I believe. And then we have 2 of these stars that we're going to use for the top. So one will be the front star and one will be the back of the star. And I'm going to use that metallic gold paint again and the gold flecks from Dollar Tree. And I am going to completely cover this star. The other one, I just kind of gave it some decor, kind of made it shabby chic, but this one I wanted to do a complete cover, and the wet paint does help that gold stick on there, so as the paint dry I just add a little bit more until I got all the gold on there that I wanted. And I love how this turned out. I think it's so pretty. And then, like I said, we're just going to paint the other star gold, and that'll be the back side. So this project is pretty from both sides. Now I put those tumbling tower blocks, I put them in sections of 2, and I made 3 of those. And we are going to glue all 3 of those together, and that will be our trunk. And I'm going to hold it together with my little grips there and make sure that it's all even. And then I took my Waverly chalk paint in the color Fern, and I painted the blocks all the way around because you're going to see everything. And I'm going to decorate one side, but the other side could be just plain. And then out of this paper, it had some little strips that were about the same size as my 1-inch blocks. And so I'm going to give those 1-inch blocks a coat of Mod Podge. Now I'm only going to put the paper on every other row, and so I'm just putting the Mod Podge on the 1 row, the 3 row, and the 5 row, and then I'm picking out the paper that I want to go for each row, and then I am going to let that dry. And once it's all dry, we are doing the iron-on method of decoupage. So we'll put our piece on top, and then we'll just add our piece of parchment paper, and then I'm going to take my utility knife and I'm going to cut them apart. I suppose you could leave them together if you wanted, and then just trim out with your handy dandy sanding instrument. I like to use the snail file, and I'm just going to sand off the edges and make it kind of rustic looking, but also clean. It gives me a nice clean edge without having to cut it. So I'm just going to do that for all 5 of these blocks, and then we'll put the paper on, repeat the steps for the next 3 and for the last one. And once we've got all of those sanded down and ready to go, then we are going to set that aside. And I have this little stencil I bought from Temu. It actually comes in a package of, I don't know, 10 or 15. And I don't remember what I paid for it, but they're all kinds of different backgrounds. And I liked this brick one. And so I am going to use this little stipple brush from the Dollar Tree and my ivory chalk paint. And I secured all the blocks together, and then I secured my little template on there, and you can see it looks just like a little brick wall. And I just thought that would look so cute with that rustic paper. And now we're gonna get it all glued together. So I was arranging my blocks so that the paper that was all one piece at one time would continue to look like a seamless piece. And we'll glue those together with that wood glue by Super Glue that you can buy at the Dollar Tree. Sometimes they run out, so I usually grab 2 or 3 bottles when I see it at a time because wood glue is expensive, but this is a really awesome wood glue. And so we're going to glue each row together first, and then we will glue the whole tree together in just a minute. So we'll finish gluing these 3 pieces and then the 2 pieces that go in the next row, and then we'll glue all the rows together. So here's row 4 onto 5, and then row 3 onto 4, and row 2 onto 1, and then the last row, and then we'll put our trunk on and our star on. And I just love the way this turns out. And I had a hard time picking a favorite this week. I think they were all super cute. So let me know below, what was your favorite? And here it is all finished, and I just love the sparkle on that star, and I love the different textures on that tree. I think it's so cool how you can make something look textured without even really adding a different texture to it, just by the different mediums that you use. And here is a look at all 5 of our completed projects this week. I am in love, and honestly, I wished I could put these out right now, but I still have all my summer stuff out. I'm one of those that I like to wait for Christmas until after Thanksgiving to put my decor out. What about you? Are you a before Thanksgiving or an after Thanksgiving decorator? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really did enjoy our time together. Now, since you stuck around until the very end, I have a hint on one of next week's projects. We are going to be doing Christmas in July again. So you will need one of these glass pieces from the Dollar Tree and a terracotta pot bottom or some wooden circle, and some Christmas miniatures. But until then, make it a great day and happy Tuesday!